Welcome to the Collective Shift podcast. My name is Nick and I'm here with Head of Research Matt to discuss his latest member post, diving into what 2023 will hold for the market.
Hey Nick, good to be here and looking forward to talking about the year ahead or the 11 months left in the year. We've started off strong in terms of prices, but looking forward to talking a bit today about some different themes that I covered in my recent 2023 look ahead post for members.
Perfect. So what was your key theme here for 2023 if you could pin just one?
Yeah, it was hard to pin just one to focus on today, but definitely I feel like in light of recent events even, I already had staking as my sort of theme or word for the year. And definitely in early February, we've probably seen that even pushed to the forefront even more in light of recent regulatory events. Get into, I suppose, the different subcategories of staking that I focused on. And we'll probably kick things off with restaking. So it's a new term, I think, that you'll start hearing a lot about in 2023. Probably the project that's pioneering this is called EigenLayer. And yeah, essentially what restaking is, you know, there's the vision is for these, you know, protocols or apps to build on top of EigenLayer, and EigenLayer will essentially be this protocol that just taps into Ethereum security. So Ethereum being the layer 1 blockchain, Ethereum and security, probably not a good use of words there with the SEC on the tracks there. But essentially EigenLayer, it's really, I think, going to give stakers, so just say, you know, yourself or me is staking ETH, we're gonna have the option to opt into EigenLayer's protocol, and we're going to have the option to use our staked ETH and essentially, you know, hand it over to EigenLayer, for lack of a better term, for it then to be able to be used and leveraged to help bootstrap other protocols and apps. So yeah, you've got the likes of the middleware sort of protocols, essentially any app or protocol that has to go to a lot of effort to bootstrap its network, which is capital intensive. The aim here is to be able to, you know, leverage Ethereum's sort of really highly secure network, and I guess it will eventually, I think, untap a lot of innovation in the space because you'll dramatically reduce costs for your Oracle networks, your indexing networks, even sequences. There's a lot of different use cases, bridges. So yeah, big year ahead, I think, for restaking.
So what state are EigenLayer in at the moment? I know they're not tokenized.
Yeah.
Do you have any updates on when they may launch like a mainnet or when they're gonna?
Yeah, so I think their first product is EigenDA, which is a data availability layer, and that's essentially slated to go live towards the end of 2023 or the back half of this year. And then over 2024, 2025, there'll be essentially different services built on top of EigenLayer. And yeah, I think eventually they would tokenize in time, but not this year. But for people participating, as we often see, participating early, they are likely be eligible for an airdrop in years to come.
Perfect. Is there any other subsectors of the sort of staking economy that you're keeping an eye on? So we mentioned restaking. What about decentralized ETH staking or maybe liquid staking?
Yeah, another big focus I think this year will be on the decentralization of, I suppose, staking technologies on Ethereum. So right now, the only way you can stake is just through a single validator. So whether it's staking as a service or, using Kraken, which if you know in the US, or if you're a solo staker, all of these are through just individual validators, which, you know, is a bit of a choke point or centralizing force on Ethereum, both in terms of client diversity and then even geographically. It's a bit of a sort of network health sort of issue. So I'm looking forward to these sort of new projects that are working on decentralizing, I guess, the staking infrastructure. So another sort of buzzword or word I think you'll start hearing a lot. I think restaking was one. I think DVT will be the one that's relevant here. So that's just short for decentralized validator technology. And so sort of the two projects at the forefront here, probably SSV.network And then similarly, another one in this space is Obol Labs or Obol Network, so OBOL Network. So they're just working on essentially a group of people around the world using different, clients and whatnot will be able to all, participate and run a shared sort of validator node. And again, that will really help decentralize Ethereum's staking infrastructure, because it does cop a fair bit of criticism from other areas in the crypto space for being rather centralized, with the likes of Kraken up until Kraken, Coinbase, even Lido being having quite a bit of the staked ETH. So with the likes of SSV and then Obol Network, I think that's really going to help decentralize Ethereum this year.
Cool. Maybe touching on Lido, and I think Rocket Pool's another one. How are you seeing, that space, which is also called pooled staking?
Yeah, so this pooled staking is a really popular way of, for people wanting to, if they own ETH but they don't have 32 ETH to run their own staking, their solo setup. For people who maybe just have less than that and they want to earn sort of the staking rewards for helping secure Ethereum, they have the option of using the likes of Lido and Rocket Pool and StakeWise to, as you said, pool their stake. Another way, another term it's often called is liquid staking as well. But essentially it's this other mechanism of being able to stake. And I think they will really, again, be more heavily used this year in 2023. I think both because of just project development. So I know Rocket Pool is coming out soon with lowering their threshold from having to have 16 ETH. Now they're going to lower it to 8 ETH as their threshold. And Lido is just released version 2 here in February. And StakeWise is coming out. I think even Swell Network. So again, just more time for these projects to work on their technology. And then I think they'll also have a nice sort of tailwind of this news that's just come out today, actually, of a real crackdown on centralized exchanges offering staking sort of programs, starting with Kraken. So I think it's going to be a big year for those sort of tokens, and I would expect them to outperform both ETH and the market overall. So there's different sort of governance tokens, just to clear that up. So if you use Lido, you put in ETH, and you want to contribute your stake, and you want to stake with Lido, you get back ST ETH. So that's the liquid staking part of it, because you can use that ST ETH in other areas. But I guess the tokens I'm talking about that will outperform the market are the governance, the tokens that are native to Lido. So that's the LDO token. Rocket Pools is the ticker is RPL. So their StakeWise is SWISE. So those sort of governance, as the protocols get bigger this year, which I strongly feel like they will, I feel like value will accrue to these underlying tokens, because it'll be more important to have an input into these protocols.
Awesome. Yeah. So is there any other levels or area of focus you're keen for in 2023 outside of the staking area?
Yeah, so some others I did touch on were, just NFTs in general, TLDR or summary. I think it will still be opportunities in the NFT space. And then, I did mention some other areas in terms of just blockchain architecture and whatnot. I still think there's a lot of work there to be done. And then what about prices? I know everyone's probably thinking, what about prices? What's going to happen? I think overall, my thought is Bitcoin will spend most of the year in between 20 and 30,000. I think it's going to be a pretty boring year in terms of the overall BTC and ETH prices. I think they'll mostly just go up and down within a range for the whole year. And then I think 2024 is when we'll really start to gear up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough year as well. We could see some sideways action, but I'm also kind of anticipating Bitcoin to maybe do a bit better, considering it's one of the strongest, most decentralized crypto asset out there. For more information on Matt's post, head to the Collective Shift member platform, or the link will be attached to the podcast. And if you're a member, you'll be able to comment and engage with Matt. Maybe you had a question. So make sure to sign up and and ask your question down below.
Yeah, definitely come at me with things you disagree with or agree with. I'm happy. I've already got in the comments with some members, so yeah, it's always good fun in the community. And then also for anyone wanting to know more about what we do at Collective Shift, do head over to the website collectiveshift.io. We have just started a new feature where you can book in 15 minutes with our founder Ben, who will go take you on a crypto strategy call. So for anyone wanting to know how to get exposure to crypto, what are some different ways that people typically invest, Ben's there to sort of just walk you through your different options, and that's free to book. So for 15 minutes. So head over to collectiveshift.io and follow the prompts there.
Thanks for joining me, Matt, and I look forward to jumping on more podcasts to discuss more Collective Shift content in the future.
Likewise, looking forward to it, Nick.